Good morning. Welcome to the Ashes to Rubies conversational podcast on life and recovery and so much more.
A little bit more. I just saw a squirrel. And then in my second week of rucking today, I saw an abnormal amount of rabbits, bunny rabbits. And they hear me coming at some level and they're cautious. And then I saw a bunny rabbit and a squirrel and they were just kind of intermingling. They're not scared of each other.
They're hanging out.
Yeah. And I was thinking, like, what would I rather have? A squirrel pet or a rabbit pet? And then, or a raccoon pet. Have you seen raccoons? They're freaking cute. What would you rather have? Except I think raccoons are nocturnal.
None of the
above.
above.
I would cancel that. We had nocturnal pet once, hamsters.
None of the
Not a good scene. None of the above. Would you ever have another pet? Okay. That's what old people say. Because I think the pet might live longer than them. No, we want another pet. We don't need the music turned down. The neighbors don't bug us with their loud music and their smoking. The cars on the highway are going fast enough. The older we get, the more things bother us, I think.
Not necessarily.
No, you don't get bothered by much.
Some stuff.
Like what? Me? No, what bothers you the most? In a general sense, in the day. Throughout a day.
Getting out of bed in the morning.
Getting out of bed in the morning. That's a bother. That's like hard work.
Just stay in bed.
Although, when you get out of bed and you look presentable how you do, you've obviously done stuff. You've now completed the hardest part of your day. Mm-hmm. Crushed it. Now it's all easy from here on. What's the hardest part of your day? What brings you the most grief throughout a day?
What bothers you?
I don't know. Maybe I'm that unaware. What do you think bothers me? When people leave me alone. I don't.
Like, there's little quirky stuff, but I don't think anything's like a really big deal.
I think I only know when it bothers me when it happens. I don't think about it.
Hold on to it.
Yeah. All right. Maybe a pet squirrel in our future or a rabbit. I was thinking about.
I never need to be in a room with a squirrel ever again.
That's right.
Ever.
There's been some squirrel incidences. Not at our house, at our friend's house. But my grandpa bought me 2 rabbits and had a pen, and they multiplied very quickly, and I sold them door to door for $5 each. Got to a man's house. He picked them up by the ears, which I was like very concerned about. And he says, come back with 8 of them in 2 weeks. So I told my dad I hit the jackpot of sales, and he goes, well, I think he was going to use them to cook with. My rabbits are not cooking rabbits. And so I never went back to complete that sale. But I was thinking I could set up a little trap and catch a rabbit or 2, and then we could make a little pen in the back.
Why aren't you content with the wild rabbit that's always in our front yard? Yeah. Why can't you just enjoy him on his terms?
I'm going.
Why does it have to be on your terms?
I will continue to love that rabbit on his terms. Outside in our yard every morning. All right, let's get to the morning meditation. Thank you for joining us. We take this idea out of a book and then we wrestle with it and roll around with it throughout the day. And that's what meditation is just asking questions and listening to the Spirit of God within us. Each of us has, as a person, an enormous potential. You, my friend, have enormous potential. Many of our frustrations come from not making the most of ourselves and getting out of life what it has to give rather than waiting for us to accept. That was tricky. Many of our frustrations come from not making the most of ourselves and getting out of life what it has to give, ready and waiting for us to accept. I still don't understand that last part.
Does this feel like your report card?
I know.
So much potential if only she would apply herself.
Although we come to 12-step fellowship to deal with a specific problem, we do not always realize that developing ourselves could be the answer, not only to the problem of living with alcohol, with the ism, but to others as well. The solutions rest with me. With the help of God, I can adorn my life with comfort, serenity, and enjoyment. It does not depend on any other person. And the sooner I accept this fact, the sooner I will be able to face myself realistically. Today's reminder: people can affect me only as I allow them to. I need not be influenced by others, for I am free to consult my own wishes and standards and decide what is best for me. I find I can realize my own strength and confidence by working faithfully in a program of action, seeking God, and using it in my daily life. The only real answer, this is a quote by Robert K. Greenleaf, the only real answer to frustration is to concern myself with the drawing forth of what is uniquely me. This gives me the impulse and the courage to act constructively on the outside world. Say that to me. My comprehension level seems to be frustrated. Okay.
Concern myself with, so what's uniquely me? Like, bring that to the surface so that I have the impulse and the courage to act constructively on the outside world.
So
dig deep.
So basically, all of my problems are of my own making because I don't apply my uniquely awesomeness and my relationship with God to the world around me. So I sit and watch Netflix and I eat junk food and I watch TV shows, and that's how I spend the last 3 hours of my night. And all of these problems come from within me because if I'm watching TV and stuff, not that TV is bad, not that sports shows are bad, not that series are bad, but it actually takes from within me. I can only be plugged into one source of energy. And so if I'm not plugged into God, then I am frustrated, insecure, neurotic, and not doing well on the inside, which comes out on my outside. Is that correct? Is that what this is saying?
I think so. I think it's saying that we have a lot of potential and we don't make the most of ourselves. So we need to try harder. That's what this is saying.
So we're our own thieves. So just like the sun up in the sky, it brings out the properties within me. Mm-hmm. So if I have God's love and joy and peace and contentment and satisfaction when the sun is beating down on my face, whether it's my partner, whether it's the morning time, whether it's not having the right pet, or whatever the situation is on the outside, it'll bring out what's on the inside. Mm. So if the sun is shining brightly in my eyeballs and I'm cussing and swearing, not that I do that, and I'm insecure, I'm combative, I'm defensive, I'm full of self-pity, I'm full of resentment, then that's really what's inside of me. So is the love of God inside of me, or is the Spirit of God inside of me?
Yeah, and I think
the Spirit of John inside.
So the key to this reading is the middle paragraph. The solutions rest with me. With the help of my higher power, I can adorn my life with comfort, serenity, and enjoyment. It does not depend on any other person. The sooner I accept this fact, so I can't control the outside. I can't control the outside. The outside's always going to be the outside. But I can do something about the inside with God's help.
So my peace isn't dependent on another person, and neither is the trouble dependent on another person. So it all comes from within me, depending on what spirit I'm operating in. And so then my goal today is to connect to the Spirit of God, mm-hmm. to cast out the spirit of John. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was good. My comprehension today seems very low. So I'm just going to go with that throughout the day, that I am just going to maybe be a hugging machine. I don't need to understand. I don't need to have deep conversation. I'm just going to be a hugging machine. Hugs. All right. We give you this day. We turn it over to the care and love of God. We do have a loving, caring God. And so he's going to do for us, inside of us, what we can't do for ourselves.
Amen.
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 All right. We will see you. Have a great 24. Keep peace. Be of good behavior. Go catch a rabbit.